All right. Going to kick it off with some recognition here. So these are the coaches that have hit Success Club so far this month. We got Jensen Sohn, Shelby Lintz, Brandy McKaylee, Olivia Taylor, Caitlin Walsh, Michelle Katz, Andrea Wallace, Kelly Marks, Brooke Reed, Jennifer Oganowski, Christina Tropiano, Lauren Letary, Gretchen Klobuchar, Brittany Halliday, Teresa Neitlinger, Lau Hruges, Marie Sardelli, Kylie Winne, Danielle Ream, Lindsay Redding, and then at Success Club 10 already, we got Amy Reelman, Martha Stewart, Michaela Vardulkis, Hannah Kelly, Carrie Steelman-Schmidt, Danielle Lazo, Anastasia Redding, Michael Bush, Cassie Schmelzinger, Teresa Perigo, Chloe Gambrill, Taylor Johnson, Danielle Ream, again, Ashley Feld-Dyson, Bailey Glanzer, Kate Morgan, and Sydney Thompson. All right. And then for top 20 personal volume points, last week we got Kate Morgan, Ashley Feld-Dyson, Sydney Thompson, Taylor Johnson, Amy Reelman, Susie Bell, Casey Bachlet, Danielle Lazo, Bailey Glanzer, Kate McGinty, Kelly Bonzer, Courtney Mueller, Danielle Ream, Leah Hall, Erin Kamen, Danielle Brown, Jennifer Oganowski, Chelsea Tibia, and Cassie Schmelzinger. All right. And then so far this month, like as a team, we've helped 379 people with a challenge pack and a challenge group. 379 new people already this month. Pretty badass. Okay, and then that's the last of it, I think. Okay, so I reached out to one of our own Team Boom coaches, Kate McGinty. She's a Team Boom vet. She's been around for a while, and one of the most genuine, nicest people you'll meet. She went from like a rough month, Success Club 0, to Success Club 24 in just 1 month apart. So I reached out to her and asked if she would want to share kind of like what the big turnaround was. And she said she had kind of like, she wanted to come up with like a list of, I think she said 5 things that she changed from kind of the SC0 to the SC24 month. So I'm excited for Kate to get on here and share some of those tips with us. See if I can. There you are. Hey, Kate.
Hey.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time to share with us here.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. As I told everyone, when you messaged me, I fell on the floor.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm flattered that you would ask because I really love everything you have done, and I'm excited to be able to share my piece of what's been working. I'm actually going to take control of this screen here if I can. Okay. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, cute.
This is me. Okay. So one of my favorite things that Pat always says is that you got to share the shit. And if you've ever seen the formula for a story that he shares that I really appreciate as a former journalist is that you have to tell the story really well. So you have to tell your background. You have to tell what sucked about it. You have to tell what changed and where you are now. So in order to tell you how I went from Success Club 0 to 24, I have to start at the beginning and give you my background. So this is me. I'm Kate. I'm from Minnesota. This is one of my favorite pictures of me in the Minneapolis suburbs. And then when I was about 3 years old, it was Christmas time, and my grandpa looked over at me and asked, "Why does Kate look like she's walking funny?" And my parents noticed, yeah, it did kind of look like my leg was a little bit crooked. So for the next few months, my parents were hopping around doctor's offices, hospitals, Mayo Clinic, trying to figure out what was going on with my legs. I was eventually diagnosed with a disease called enchondromatosis, which is a really rare bone disorder. And essentially it made my legs crooked and different lengths. Over the next 15 years after that, I had 1 to 2 major surgeries a year to correct that. I'm really lucky that my parents made that completely normal for me, and always told me whatever doesn't break you makes you stronger. So I grew up and it was pretty normal until I hit my mid to late 20s and I started having a lot of knee pain. My kneecap was dislocating 4 to 5 times a month. I was in pain every night, taking Advil and aspirin every single day. I was still in my 20s, went to a doctor who took x-rays and said, yep, your knees look much older than you are. You can see right there, they're not lined up the way they should be, and I have very little cartilage left in either of my knees. The doctor said, your only hope is just to manage this pain and hold off on a knee replacement as long as possible. Well, it was a few weeks later that this photo popped up in my Facebook memories. But it didn't match up what I was seeing in the mirror right there. And that was kind of when I was forced to realize I had gained a lot more weight than I knew. I knew I had gained weight, obviously. I wasn't really comfortable with what I was seeing in the mirror or looking out in the shower. But just seeing that Facebook memories photo really hit me hard. And it was sometime around then that it also occurred to me that perhaps some of that extra weight was also contributing to the knee issues that I was having. And maybe I could do more than just waiting until a knee replacement surgery. So I see this Facebook memories photo. And that day I said, okay, had enough, got to do something about it. Went to look for a sports bra, pulled it on. It didn't even fit, not even close. I went upstairs to the apartment gym anyway, hopped on the elliptical, and I lasted 8 minutes. I was out of breath. My calves were burning. It was terrible. I used to be able to go on the elliptical for like 45 minutes at a time when I was in college with no problem. I lasted 8 minutes, stepped off, and just stood there going, oh my God, what am I gonna do? I'm in my 20s, I'm way overweight. I'm facing a knee replacement issue. I can't work out. What's gonna happen? I'm literally standing in this spot where I took this selfie when I open up Facebook and I see this post from Lauren Kellum. So Lauren and I had met a handful of times. We used to work at the same office, but on different floors, didn't know each other very well, just well enough to be Facebook friends. She posted this as I'm standing there in the apartment gym going, what am I gonna do? And she references a 21-day challenge. So I messaged her and said, what is this? I feel like I need it. She told me what it was. And my second message back to her was, I want in, where do I buy it? And I bought it on the spot before even leaving the apartment gym, walked back downstairs and told my boyfriend, this is what I'm gonna do. So on August 24th, I started the 21-day fix. It sucked. The first week was really, really tough. And I tell my challengers all the time that it sucked, and that the second week in particular, I remember sitting at that kitchen table that you can see in the corner, looking at Nick and almost in tears saying, I don't want to think so hard about this. I don't want to have to work so hard for it. I just want to eat whatever I want. And I was just overwhelmed by it. But by week 3, I was starting to feel better. I was feeling really proud about getting through it. I was starting to see a change in my face, and I was starting to feel more energy. So I asked Lauren, can I do another round with you? And I kept going back. I joked that I was like the super senior who just would not graduate. And I kept going back over and over and over. And after about a year, I was a Beachbody Challenge winner. I submitted my results at 1.2 Beachbody after probably about 50 pounds and never heard a peep. And Caroline Nathan, who's one of my upline coaches, asked me, have you submitted again? You should try again. So I tried again, and this time they selected me, asked me for a few more pictures, a few questions, gave me $500 and celebrated me. That was really freaking cool. So I've lost 80 pounds from my high weight to my low weight. I've maintained pretty much the same weight now for the last 2.5 years. I built a following on Facebook. I'm now at almost 10,000 followers on Instagram. I go to all the live events, the team events, the networking events, all of it. It was obviously proof of the product. I was showing up, feeling really good, really believed in what we were doing. But I was rarely hitting Success Club. I hit Diamond for a hot minute, but was back down to Emerald and was stuck there. And one of my major goals has been to make enough money to cover all of the products for both my husband and me. Wasn't coming even close consistently. So that was frustrating. And it was kind of like, okay, is this ever going to happen? And then this fall, Caroline posted in her group about the new BAT coming out, that Beachbody wanted to test this new to-do list and was asking for coaches to commit to 8 weeks of doing it. So I said, this might be it. This might be my moment. And so I decided to commit. And so this is where we're going to switch now. And I'm going to tell you what I've changed now in the last few months. So change 1 was to quit doubting and just trust the process. So I have a total coach crush on Bonnie Engel. I love her stories. I'm like obsessed with following her and think she's adorable. I used to watch her and Danielle Natoni a lot, and I would think they're smarter than I am. They have more money than I do. They have more confidence. They're less shy. They have way more discipline. I had all of these things in my head about things they had that I didn't. And for that was the reason why they could be top 10 coaches and I couldn't. Once the new BAT came out though, I was like, okay, Kate, all of the top coaches are sharing their secret tricks. They literally have given you your to-do list. And that's when it clicked that this business is the same as weight loss. And it's exactly how I coach my clients to just quit doubting yourself. Let me believe in you until you believe in yourself and trust the process. And so it's really the same of just follow the plan that people give to you, whether it's the 21-day fix container from Autumn or the BAT from Beachbody. It's don't give up when the quick results aren't coming, and keep it simple and stop overcomplicating it. So that was a huge mindset change for me, to just say, I'm going to go all in on this BAT, whether I believe in it or not. I'm going to go for it and try it. 2 was really committing to that, of not just saying it, but doing it. So I talked to my husband when I said, hey, I think I'm going to commit to this. I'm going to have to show up every day for 8 weeks. Beachbody's going to be looking at my BAT and using it to inform what they're doing. So I really need to be committed, and wanted to make sure that he was on board. And of course, he was super supportive of testing that. I needed to set a schedule and really say, this is exactly when I'm doing it. And I was lucky to have my business partner and accountability partner, Lisa, who showed up with me every day. She was testing it as well. And we met at 4:30 a.m. every single day for a power hour to just really, we were committed and we were putting our actions behind that, behind that promise. Change 3 was speaking very candidly to old Kate. So I used to, I think, speak a little bit more, I would say generally or generically. I was sort of like, I'll take whoever I can get. If there's anyone who wants to lose weight or who wants to join my challenge groups, I'll take them. And so I spoke sort of broadly. And then when I went to the Diamond Retreat this fall, Danielle Ream was sharing some amazing examples from, I believe it was one of the leadership trainings by Beachbody. And she was telling us about how it's really important to story tell, because people want to relate to you and to your story and not to a product. And so that really encouraged me and gave me the confidence to say, I'm going to zero in on my niche and I'm going to talk to old Kate. And so I wrote a list of all of the things that I used to do right before I started Beachbody, about how I had heartburn every night, about how I had that knee pain, about how I would swear I was going to start Monday and I would print out a calendar to check it off, but never start. So I wrote a list of these, and I use these to fuel the stories that I tell. So for this example that I have on here, this is actually my best Instagram post ever when measured by engagement. The caption easily could have been like, hey, look at my new dress. I love this dress. Now that I've lost 80 pounds, I feel so much more confidence and I feel better. But instead, I followed the example that Danielle had given us and shared the shit and told people about what it felt like when I was trying on that blue dress and how uncomfortable I felt that night and how self-conscious. And I think that's what really resonated with people, is because I was speaking to the girl in the blue dress. Change 4, send more invites, because it's all a numbers game. So I've probably gotten slightly better at invites, but probably not much. My conversion rate, meaning the number of people that I talk to, the percentage of people that I talk to who end up buying a challenge pack or buying any products, probably has not increased. It's just that I'm talking to more people. My mindset used to be that if I talk enough about what I do and about my challenge groups, then people who are really interested, they'll come to me, they'll message me, they'll comment. But what I realized is that's not true, that people will sit back and they won't say anything because it's scary, or they won't take the time, or whatever the reason is, that I need to be really proactive and show people that I'm approachable and that I want to help them. And I've been amazed at the number of people who say, wow, I've been following you for months or even years. And they said they've thought about reaching out, but never did. And so I show you on here, I get no's all the time. No, but thank you so much. And I found that's actually not so scary. And when someone just says no, thanks, usually they're pretty polite about it. But then I get these responses like the woman on the bottom there who says, I've been following along with your health journey. You're killing it. I definitely want to learn more about what it entails. And she actually just bought a challenge pack. It was totally a cold message from somebody who lived in the area that led to this. And I doubt that she would have reached out to me if I hadn't just started sending more invites. Change 5, and this is where, so I warned Pat, I said, when I talk about my changes, you're going to be horrified because they're things that I've known that I should be doing for years, but I haven't done. So, okay, you hear coaches talk all the time about how important it is to track in your business so that you keep track of names. Well, true story, I did not track at all until October. That's when things started changing. I tried Teamsy, I tried Asana. Those didn't work for me. I really felt like tracking slowed me down. Like I would have sworn up and down it took way too much time and it really slowed me down. I tried downloading Google Streak, but could not even wrap my head around it. It was so confusing for me. It just seemed like it was something sort of cumbersome to do to track, so I just skipped it. Well, once I decided, okay, I really have to figure out a way that's going to work for me, I was going back through old messages and I saw how many opportunities I had missed because I had forgotten to follow up because I didn't have their names written down. So I started using Trello, which I believe is actually a suggestion of my coach, Lauren. Super simple. So this is Trello.com. There's a mobile app and a desktop. It's free, super user-friendly, very fast. So I create different columns. You'll see those across the top. And it tracks the stage that somebody is in. And I update the names of these columns as I start new challenge groups. But you'll see, and I'm going to show you a little video here, you literally just drag a name over from column to column. That's it. That's all I do. So it takes like 3 seconds flat to track a name of where they are in the process. And then I know, like, for example, every Monday I'll go back and I'll see who is still waiting in my column that I need to go invite. Then here's the other nice thing. If you do want to do this, and I don't really take advantage of it very much, but you can click on any name too, and you can log notes. So I use Lauren as an example, that if you want to keep track of anything with that client, there's space to be able to do that on here too. So big fan of Trello. That's worked really, really well for me. But whatever it is for you, I really highly encourage you find whatever tool works for you to make it easy so that you can keep track of names. Change 6, skip the script, but do write an FAQ. So I'm not really a big fan of scripts. To me, they sort of felt inauthentic. And more importantly, I would get super tripped up if I had a script and somebody asked me a question that I wasn't confident about the answer and it wasn't clearly in my script. And I would delay on responding to messages because I would be like, oh, I'm going to have to sit down and I'm going to have to think about it and type it out once I get back to a desktop. And then I just would never respond and I would just kind of spiral into disaster. So now what I do is I use the Notes app in my iPhone. And anytime I say the same thing twice, I save it. And so now I have this whole little file that is kind of like an FAQ, and I can copy and paste, and I already have answers that I've crafted that I know I feel really good about, that are really clear and concise to be helpful, and I can move really fast. That gives me more time to spend on that personal conversation with people to understand the other stuff, because I've got the frequently asked questions already pre-written, ready to go. And then finally, coach publicly and earn the right to invite. So I am totally obsessed with the Life Coach School podcast. And one of the things that she talks about that I really love is her whole philosophy around her podcast, which is she'll give away a 20 or 25-minute podcast every single week. She'll offer a ton of value for free. There are going to be some people who listen and don't like her. There are going to be some people who like the podcast, but they're never going to spend money on it. And then there are going to be some people who fall in love with her, whose lives are changed just by listening to her, and who say, you know what? I already know you. I like you. I trust that you can help me because you've already helped me just through listening to this podcast. So I want to spend money on your service to see what happens if we kick this up a notch together. I try to apply the same philosophy to my coaching business, where I'm going to offer a lot of value to you first, and I'm going to begin coaching you in my posts and in my one-on-one conversations before you even hire me. So I share tips about mental and physical health and wellness in my posts. I share recipes. I'll gladly answer anyone who has questions about my food plan and my recipes. Now, of course, I won't give everything away, and I'm not going to spend a huge time suck on that, but I do need, in a world of tons of health programs and coaches and pills and keto diets and all of that, I do need to earn the trust of people so that they realize I know what I'm talking about and I really can help you. Okay, and then I love this quote about the real work begins after the sale is made. And so as I was bringing new people on board, I realized I needed to change my challenge group experience a little bit, because I wanted to give them a great experience. I wanted to keep them around. I wanted them to really fall in love with how they felt by drinking Shakeology and doing the workouts and being involved in the group, so that they would keep purchasing as a customer, or they would even turn around and coach or refer their friends. So I made a few changes. One of them is I created this welcome packet. So as soon as somebody completes the share a cart and checks out, I tell them, okay, now I'm going to send you a welcome packet that's going to walk you through what to expect. Go through it as you have time, and let's walk through your questions then together. And it really, I feel like it sets them up super well. It answers a lot of the questions that newbies had anyway as they were coming in. I think it gets them started off on the right foot. In there, I give an overview of BOD, an overview of the nutrition plans, an explanation of what the heck Shakeology is and why it's such a big deal. And then I also say, if you're interested, if you're interested in continuing in Shakeology, Recover, Energize, any of those, here's an overview of the coach discounts. And then I also offer a referral program if my customers send clients to me. So the first person I sent this to with the referral program actually sent her sister to me, and her sister bought a challenge pack. So as part of the referral program, I send them both a gift in the mail, which was a beach bar and Energize. The other change I made was really making sure the Facebook group, I run my challenge groups in Facebook with a couple of my coaching partners, are really helpful and just mini libraries of content. So I always have in there, as soon as you're added to our challenge group, you can find sample meal plans, really delicious recipes, Shakeology 101, my own recipes using the products. So that one on the right there is a Shakeology mug cake with a chocolate recover sauce on the top, which of course gets everyone really interested in talking about chocolate Shakeology and chocolate recover, which is fun. And so I have a ton of resources in here trying to get people engaged and feeling like they're really supported and really ready for success. Next, and I posted about this in Boom Fam at one point, so some of you may have seen this, but the coach group that I run with my teammates, we do 2 posts every day. We have a morning post, which is always an open-ended discussion for the day. And then at night, we have an accountability poll where people check in, and we always ask them to check off what they did for the day and leave a comment. Well, this summer I did the diet bet with Tony Horton. And if you're not familiar with the diet bet, you pay into a cash pot. So I think I paid like $30. And if you hit your weight loss goal in a set period of time, you get to split the cash prize. It was super fun. It was such a good incentive. So I said, how can I apply this to my group? I pitched it and people were pumped. And so we made it about the accountability, not weight loss, because that's not everybody's goal. And we said, pay into the cash pot. It's optional. But if you pay in, all you have to do is check in every single night on that accountability poll. And if you do, you get to split the cash prize. It was amazing. It totally lit up our challenge groups. I went from being sort of bored with our challenge groups to just feeling amazing energy, this incredible community building, because they had the incentive and the fun and the competition tied to being part of the group and engaged and supporting each other. So that was really cool. And then finally, the last change that I have made in my business is I am soliciting reviews now. So I found that people, once I made those changes in my group, especially with the accountability bet, I was having challengers who were sending me just like the most incredible messages privately or saying really sweet things in the group. And I thought, how do I share some of that publicly and let people know that I'm good at what I do and I really can help you get to your goal? So I turned on reviews on my Facebook page and asked challengers if they were willing to leave me a review. And that night, I think there were like 6 reviews within a couple hours, and I was just blown away. So now I have this 5 out of 5 rating on my Facebook page. If you open up my Facebook page, which is One Step Closer Kate, and every time anyone leaves a review, I take a screenshot of it. I post it in my Insta story so that my Instagram followers see it. And then I also share them into a highlight on my profile so that they live there and that people can see that in the future too, of really seeing proof from real people that they've worked with me, that I have clients, I have success stories to share, and you can hear them from them in their own words. So that is it on this last slide. Just a final reminder, but one thing that doesn't change is we always have our family, and this is the Fit Nerds Ignited family. We're all part of Team Boom, but we've created our own little teams, and we have joint team calls. And no matter what I think is really cool is I talk about my challenge group in here, but I run challenge groups with these guys and always brainstorm with them, and we cheer each other on. And I think that's one of the best parts of this business. So I couldn't have this presentation without sharing that part.
That was awesome. Wow. There's a few questions in the chat here. I have a few questions, but if the rest of you guys have some questions for Kate, you can drop them in the chat or unmute yourself. That was amazing, Kate. Amazing. That was one of the best slideshows I think I've ever seen. So the first question is, so I think you showed like the poll. It looked like you used Facebook instead of the tracker app.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Cool. On the poll, like what was I saw like, so you do every day you have a poll that you do, and it had like, I think there was like 5 or 6 things. Like what was the one that said one of the things they could click was like water, workout, nutrition, Shakeology. I think one said like positivity, right?
I see Mark freaking out that I use Facebook because I know he's a fan of the challenge app. But yeah, so we do use Facebook. Lauren and I have been running challenge groups together for, I don't know, whenever I forced myself as a coach on you. I just never left. I was her super senior that she can't get rid of. And we've been running groups together for then like 3 years. And when the app first came out, we would flip back and forth and we would try them and we would survey people and ask. And the overwhelming demand calendar was to be Facebook, that it was super engaging and that we have this incredible community where they talk to each other all the time. So we've just stuck with Facebook for now. Somebody in our coach group came up with this idea. I can't take credit for it. That for the nightly post, we used to just ask people, hey, rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 5. And somebody came up with the idea of presenting it as a poll. And you check it off if you've completed it. And we ask 5 things every night. We ask, did you drink your Shakeology? Did you follow your nutrition plan? Did you get your workout in? How'd you do on water? And positivity. Because one of the things we talk about a lot is personal development. We've had, I think in November, we did every other day was dedicated to personal development and sharing highlights from some of our favorite speakers and authors that we've found through PD, and really helping people understand that we're here for more than workouts and weight loss, that we're here to help you with your whole life and to be a mentally healthy and happy person more than anything. And so reminding people that positivity is one of our goals is really fundamental to how we run our groups.
That's awesome. What do you think the people in the challenge group are doing each day for their positivity? Are they reading a book or listening to something?
So a few of our people in our group have been really active in sharing Rachel Hollis. So that's been really popular for people to watch her videos or to read her books. But we give, one of the resources that I have in there when people join is a list of suggested PD. So what I say is, okay, are you having trouble waking up in the morning to get your workout in? Then I recommend the 5-second rule. So I have a list of like, if here's your trouble, let me suggest this podcast or this book. So there's no formal plan around it. We're just constantly talking about it and sharing highlights and takeaways from it. And you see people jumping in. Like there was somebody who posted today and said this was the first day and as long as she can remember that she woke up with natural gratitude. It's just, wow. We have this amazing community where people have just, enough coaches are kind of planting those seeds of sharing their PD takeaways that challengers are starting to hop in and do it too.
Do you run you create a new Facebook group once a month, or is it like an ongoing group?
So with my teammates, we run 2 Facebook groups. So we have one big one. So we're Team Ignited. So we have one big one called The Spark, where we talk about, we want to spark your passion in life and your energy and your confidence.
I like it. That's cool.
That one's open to anyone. You don't even have to be a Beachbody customer. Most of them are, but that one's just an open, free community group. And some of my downline coaches are really awesome about hopping in there and posting every single day to create some sort of conversation. What we do is once a month, we create the 21-day challenge in a separate Facebook group. In that off week, we tell everyone, go post in the Spark.
Right.
And then they all go back. So create some FOMO, because people get this. If you're in the Spark, this big community group, there's 1 week a month where everybody's in there, including all of our paying customers. And so it's super active and people are really excited and really encouraged. And they see all of us getting really, really excited about starting the new challenge group. And so they want to get in on it. And we've seen people making purchases just to get in with that group.
Yeah. Talk about creating a spark, especially with like the new Transform 20 coming out, and you got your people that are in this December 21-day challenge are going to go back in that free Spark group and be so amped up about Transform 20 that the people that are in that Spark group are going to want to join that January group.
Yeah, and we actually did an incentive when the free workout came out last week. And I said, anyone in this group who does the free workout, post about it on your social platform and tag me, and I'll send you a guaranteed prize. So this week I'll be shipping out some beach bars to people, which it's a win for me because now they're going to get beach bars and of course they're going to love it.
Yeah. And you got them doing like kind of what we do as coaches. Like you got them already sharing on their social media for their people to start asking them questions.
Yeah. And it gets, who doesn't want a free gift? So of course they're going to try it. And then they realize, okay, that was only 20 minutes. Like I could do that. So it's just win all around.
That's awesome. So in the 21-day challenge, you do the daily kind of check-in. I like that. Like I do a 21-day challenge each month, like a new group on Facebook too. And I do like a daily check-in, but I really like the idea of doing a poll check-in instead. Do you go in and you keep track of like who clicked on the poll, and then do you kind of like recognize those people like that have gone, I don't know, 7 for 7 the first week or something like that?
So what Lauren and I had to experiment with this a lot. We found that was super labor intensive to track. I go in and
Mark's like, that's why you use the app.
I'll go in and I'll hover and kind of check and see. And if I see that like, ooh, positivity, or like water, for example, that's a really good example. Water was really low on Tuesday. Not many people checked off water. Okay, let's do a water challenge tomorrow and remind everyone about water. How we do that kind of accountability and tracking is we ask people to leave a comment. And sometimes it's super fun and playful. Like this week we've been doing a lot of what's your favorite Christmas movie. Tonight's was about what your family tradition is at Christmas, things like that. So some are really fun, and then some are more serious about your progress and your journey. We track the accountability points based off of those comments. It's just a lot faster. Plus it keeps people talking instead of just checking and moving on with their life.
Yeah. So the poll, like it's a poll, but there's also a question like in the caption of the poll.
Yeah. And
so they click, and then they also can comment on the poll too.
Yeah. So it says whatever day it is, and then it says check off everything you completed today, and then comment below with, and then there's a specific prompt.
Awesome. Love that. I love that little slide you had that said the thing about the sales, like actually your job kind of really starts after you make the sale. Like it's once you get the customer, that's when your job really kind of starts. And it sounds like you guys are really, really doing that. Is that kind of starting to show up as people that want to now do more challenges, stay on Shakeology, become coaches?
Yeah, I've actually since I started, I've been really aggressive about the coach discount in the last 2 months. Of anyone who places any order, I'm messaging them immediately going, you could have gotten 25% off with that. And then we're also in the group, I've made a series of, I think it's 5 images that break down what the heck is Shakeology, what does it do for me, why do I need it, and why is it different from other shakes. I can see people's eyes right now. Like they're like, how do I get my hands on those images? And so I listened to the Shakeology podcast and just went through the Shakeology website and Beachbody website. It's all out there, but I sort of feel like you have to hunt a little bit sometimes to piece it all together. So I can share it in Boom Fam or wherever you want me to share it. Yeah. That'd be cool if you could share it in the Boom Fam. Joe actually asked if you could share the slides in there too. Yeah, absolutely. That slideshow is like something else. I didn't even know you could have videos and slides. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So I showed my husband the presentation a little bit ago, and he was like, wow, you got really good at PowerPoint. Yeah, seriously. Man. Okay, I think that we answered that question. Are you able to share? Oh, and then someone also asked if you could share your welcome packet or the welcome email, I think. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so it's just a PDF. So then I send to people, and then it explains kind of here's what to expect. Because I feel like a lot of times when I order things, I get all excited, and then it's like, well, now what? And when is it going to come? And what happens now? So I send them an email and I say, here's what to expect. Here's standard shipping times for Beachbody. In the meantime, here's what you can read, and let's start going through this to keep their energy and excitement up while they're waiting for the package in the mail. So I just attach that as a PDF, and I can share that in the group too. Kind of going off of your theme, of like all those 6 or 7 things you shared, like what do you think was like the biggest spark of those 6 or 7 that led to all the others? I would guess like the BAT, this new like activity tracker, but I was just kind of curious what you thought it was. Yeah. So the bat definitely sparked that for sure. Um, I work really, really well when there's a clear guide, and I'm totally like I remember Wendy Jo Spencer said to me once, "You could be a top 10 coach," and I was like, "You are bonkers, lady." Uh, and I really did believe that like these top 10 coaches know something I don't, um, have something I don't have, even if it's just like discipline that I don't. But once I started looking at the bat and I realized, like I read about how the top coaches helped inform that, I went, well, shit, Beachbody Corporate and the top coaches put this together. They're not that smart. Like, and even if they are, they gave me all of their trade secrets. So if I can't succeed with this, I can't succeed at all. So I might as well just go in for eight weeks and just see, can I make this happen if I just play by the rules and follow the bat?
What help? Like if someone were to go grab the BAT right now, what tips would you have for them besides actually just going and getting it? Like what was there anything that you guys did that made you kind of show up more often to it, or I don't know, any tips like that?
I think having an accountability buddy for Power Hour helped a ton. Like I can't tell you how many times I hit snooze at 4 a.m. and then went, oh, Lisa's going to be waiting. So having just that, we didn't even talk to each other. It was silent all but like 1 or 2 times, but we would see each other and wave. Just knowing that somebody was there waiting helped a lot.
Yeah.
2, I would say don't half-ass it. I think there are people who just kind of look and go, oh, check, instead of following the spirit of it and really hustling. And then finally, I would say send more invites. It only says send 5 invites. If you're brand new, I think that's an awesome goal to start with, to get consistent and to get comfortable. But if you've been around for longer, I think you can up the ante a little bit.
I have a note here that says, ask Kate to text you her invite. I'll be shooting you a text later. Where do people get the BAT, the new BAT, if they want to start doing it?
It's in the back office now. I'm gonna start a little list here. There's a link too that I can drop in the group. Yeah, because the test was just completed. It was really cool. Caroline shared some stats from her downline about people who really committed for the 8 weeks of what they did. Because I set volume records, income records for my personal business. I doubled my Success Club record, and I rank. I went back up in rank just in those 8 weeks of just saying, okay, I'll do what you tell me.
Wow, you had me at income records.
Yeah, that was, so I did I did something this fall, some book reading group where we were setting goals. And I was like, I'll set my income goals. And I set income goals for next May. And I did that in September. I hit that income goal in November.
Because of that 8 weeks of like focused energy and effort, using the BAT to just make sure you're hitting everything on that thing.
Yep.
And having like that accountability partner, I was like, that you're going to show up. I was going to be there if you didn't show up or not.
Yeah.
That's huge. So the Coach Online office is where they can snag that now?
Yes. And there's a link to the PDF. I can drop it in the group too.
Sweet. So now that you have all these people coming in with all the new activities you're doing that are buying the challenge pack, going through your challenge group, the people that are drinking Shakeology and you're talking to them about the discount, like, are you now kind of talking to them about the coaching opportunity because you feel more comfortable? Like you can just give them the BAT when they become a coach and they can kind of just follow that. Is that kind of how you're getting your new coaches started?
Yeah. So right now, most of them are, so I've had a number of people switch to discount coaches. I have one person who's starting to go through training, And then I have another one who I kind of have my eyes on to approach her, because she's one of those people who early on is having really great success. And I see it mentally and physically already in just her first challenge. And she's already acting like a coach. But I haven't really gotten there yet with presenting, other than the one person that every week or so I'll message her and I'll be like, you are such an amazing coach, and telling her, like, whenever you're ready, I'm here to help you learn. She actually said that that she's always known that she had a leader within her and was always looking for a worthy cause. And with Beachbody, she thinks she finally found it.
Love it. It sounds like that BAT thing is going to be like a big part of what you're doing with the new coaches.
100%, because why waste my time trying to recreate a new system that's already been created by people far more successful than I've been? And I think it just keeps it really simple and clear, and goes back to the same philosophy we talk about in our challenge groups of follow the guide that the experts have done and just trust the process and keep going. Don't make it overcomplicated. Don't reinvent the wheel. Just follow the to-do list, stick with it over time, and successes will follow.
Boom. Denise asked if you could share, she said, can you share that personal development list?
Yeah.
You could probably, you could just share that in the Boom Fam sometime. Can you explain how the accountability pool works again? Do you collect it via Venmo, and every person who recommends someone to you, give them the bars? Is that something that's well known throughout the group?
Yeah. So the accountability pool, it's a totally ripped off of the diet bet. And what I do, we've done this 3 or 4 times now, where at the very beginning of the group, as we're in prep week, I'll say, okay, this is totally optional, but we're going to have an accountability bet. And if you want to participate, pay $30 to me by Venmo or PayPal by Sunday night, and you are entered into the accountability bet. Comment every single night on that poll for that check-in for those 21 days. If you do that for 21 days, you're guaranteed to get your money back, and you split any of the leftover cash. And so usually we have, like, I would say probably a 95% rate of people who win. And so they're super engaged, which is great. And they all say that was the point of, they kind of put their money on the line and it was just fun. And then maybe they'll win a few bucks back. So then at the end of 21 days, I take the cash pool, divide it by the number of people who had a perfect 21 score, and pay that back to them through PayPal or Venmo.
Cool.
And then for the recommendations, so that's a good question. So honestly, I could probably be better about reinforcing it. It's included in my welcome packet to people that I have a referral program. And what I tell them is both of you will get a prize if you come through me. I think it feels less icky that way, of like, if I refer my friend, I don't make something off of it. We both make something off of it. So I send that in my welcome packet when people first come in, as I say, just to let you know, I do have a referral program if you want to have any friends or coworkers or accountability buddies join you in this. And then when we start a new challenge group, I'm pretty good about reaching out to veterans who have done it before, who are coming back for another round, and saying, hey, really excited to have you. Do you know anyone who would want to do this with you? Just a reminder that I have the referral program.
Right.
And I don't tell them what the prize is. I just say it's a small gift from me in the mail.
Joe shared the link to the BAT, and he asked if you could talk more about the 8-week training.
So I don't know that I would say training. So they did a test. So there are, I think they're available in the coach office. There were kind of modules from some of the top coaches where there were videos where they talked a little bit about what they do. But really what it was just, here's the bat, and commit to doing this at least 5 or 6 days a week with Beachbody's minimum. And once a week, you filed that bat through your upline. And so Beachbody was just watching to see, like, if you truly checked up all of these activities, did your business results go up? So that 8 weeks is over. That was just a one-time thing for them to test it and make sure this thing really worked in real life. But there are probably some good videos that are available in the coach office that kind of accompany it and really complement some of the training, especially around IG stories.
Awesome. Cool. I feel like they also have talked about it in the Beachbody Champions Facebook group as well. I think Kim Carver did like a training video on kind of how to use the BAT.
If you have not looked, I would look. It's awesome. I really don't need to do anything more than is on there. Like I said, I invite a few more than they say is the minimum, but other than that, like it nails everything that I think right now that you really need to do.
I think that's all the questions, unless anyone had any other ones. But Kate, that was awesome. And I think Wendy's right. Top 10. Heard it here first. Big stuff. And Team Ignited, right? Is your team name?
Yeah.
Sweet. Not just a spark anymore. This thing's ignited. Cool. All right. Well, are you going to be on the cruise next year in March?
TBD. I'm building a new house and we're waiting for the closing date. So we will find out the closing date this week, and that's when I'll make the final call on my budgeting for Q1. Cool. Or if I make a really nice income in January.
I have a feeling your income's on the up. Sounds like it already is. You already set a record. Might as well break that one now. And then we'll see you on the cruise. Love it. All right, let me unmute. Or actually, I'm not going to unmute anybody anymore because there's been some profanities going on in people's kitchens and living rooms and stuff when I unmute. So you guys can unmute yourself if you dare. Let's show Kate how much we appreciate her taking the time, putting that slideshow together and the PowerPoint and sharing all this with us. Big things coming from Kate and Lauren and Mark and Lisa and the rest of the team Ignited. All right, let's give them a big boom on 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Boom! Good job, guys, Kate. By the way, that was the last call of the year. We got Christmas next Tuesday, and then we got New Year's. So that was the best way to
close it out, Kate.
Kate, that was awesome.
Thanks, guys. You guys are great.
Close it out strong. All right, let's crush it. We got what? 12, 13 days left in the year. Finish it. All right, guys. Later.